Hello everybody, this is WarStory video blog. Here is Helmut Weitze. Hello Helmut.
Yes, hello one more time.
And this is second part of our interview and our tour in Helmut Weitze's store and office. Thank you for inviting us, and this is a first level about First World War and Imperial German stuff. I'm really excited to hear about these helmets because I saw how it got here, and this sword is also look expensive.
It does, yes. We have two floors of our shop. On the first floor we have the Imperial Army. When you look around you see Imperial uniforms, spike helmets and swords. And upstairs, where we had the first part of the interview, is World War II. But now we are in the World War I section, or in the Imperial section. And here are a few purchases that we just did. Very nice spike helmets, two cavalry ones, no, all three are cavalry actually. This one is, I think everybody knows, it's also the emblem of our factory, of our business. The Garde du Corps helmet for officers. That's a used one in normal condition, made around 1910, shortly before the outbreak of the war. How can I tell? It's pretty easy. It has two cockades. The second cockade, this one was just invented in 1897, and this more or less straight, the Americans call it lobster tail. Then the back is indicating that this was the last design. Used not in mint, but very nice and decent, and still for an affordable price.
And how much is this?
This one, you know, in mint they can go, I don't know, 30, 40, 50,000. But this one here, we're talking about a little bit over 20,000 euros. And it even comes with a service spike, so the officers were wearing the helmet all the times. For a regular daily service, they took the eagle off and replaced it with the spike instead. Like on this one here, this is the 1st Cuirassier Regiment, the Leibkürassier Regiment. Extremely rare because the garrison was in Breslau, which is today a part of Poland. And in 1945, I would say most of the German refugees didn't really think of the helmet of Grandpa. They were rather keen to save their lives, and maybe they could take a blanket or something warm instead of Grandpa's helmet. That's the reason why these helmets are so extremely rare. 80% of the officer corps were aristocrats, and most of them coming from that area. That is the reason why they are so hard to come by. And it is very, very special. It's also shortly before the outbreak of the war. And that one is actually in a nice condition and way more expensive than the Garde du Corps. We're talking about more or less the double.
And how much it should be?
Yeah, between 40 and 45,000
euros.
Euros, yeah. All talking in euros. And this one here is also nice. This is a Hussar's Busby, also around 1910 area. It still has to be mounted. And when you look at the cross here, it is indicating that he was a reserve officer. And the bush was only for parade. So very, very nice one.
And this one is interesting too. And how much is it?
With the plume and everything, more or less 8,000 euros, somewhere in that ballpark. Then we have one very nice piece. It is a historical sword. And when you first look at it with the snake as a crossguard, you say, oh, that looks pretty English. And it's not wrong, because this part of Germany was once ruled also by England. We're talking about the Kingdom of Hanover. And this one actually was a present to the King of Hanover, Ernst August. Here you have his signature by Knecht. Knecht was in Solingen a very famous sword manufacturer, and on the 1st of September 1841 the King of Hanover was visiting the factory to purchase new swords and ordnance pieces for the Hanoverian army, and Mr. Knecht was intelligent enough to give him a couple of presents, and he gave him in total, I believe, 5 or 6 or 7 presentation swords, all different. On the one side to appease him, on the other side, of course, also to show the variety of products he can make. So this is something really nice. At the time,
so he was also smart.
He was very smart, yes. Yeah. And at the time, they all came without scabbards. Somebody says, oh, the scabbard is missing. No, it's not missing. He produced them without the scabbards because the idea was to display them. But the king has at least taken 2 for daily service and ordered scabbards which were made in London. And another day I will show you one of them. But this is really a royal present and a sword that belonged to a king.
And just curious, how much is this with this level of historically?
Yeah, to be honest, I still don't know, but 10,000 won't buy it and 20,000 neither.
So on this table, like more than 70,000 euros.
Roundabout, yes. If it was a Mercedes, we would have problems with the showcase. And underneath you have some pretty nice swords, a nice selection of historical items. In the background you see many spike helmets and uniforms and Imperial Navy items. So it's like a little museum here.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, just with the difference you can buy it all.
Actually, yesterday I was in Hamburg Maritime Museum, in Hamburg Naval Museum. That's something. Thank you for the tip, because this is really cool. And in museum there are like a lot of unique items. And for example, do you know, is it original baton
of Dönitz?
Yes.
Yes and no. When Dönitz surrendered to the British forces, the British took his baton, and this one is now in a regimental museum in England. The one which is in the museum was the prototype of the baton made by Wilhelm here in Hamburg to show it to Dönitz and also to Hitler if they get the okay for the production. And the real one, all the metal fittings are in real gold. And on this specimen, it is silver gilt. And when you have a close look, you can even see a spelling mistake. They mixed 2 ciphers, like E and I, other way around. So there's a spelling mistake at the baton.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but it's definitely old, and this was the masterpiece. And when Hitler and Dönitz saw it, they were very pleased with it, and then they produced the real one.
That's really cool. It's stories that you cannot get from the museum, right?
No, only if you talk to the right people.
Yes. So you guys got lucky also.
The Naval Maritime Museum has the biggest naval collection in former private hands in the West. And the former owner, Peter Tamm, he was the CEO of Axel Springer Press, the famous Bild-Zeitung. And in his best time, he was spending about 3 million a year for his collection. Wow. Family was not too pleased, but the city of Hamburg is it. And now it's open to the public, to everybody.
Yeah.
Before that, he had his collection in a former hotel at the Elbe River, a little bit down the road.
But actually, his collection is incredible. And he made like huge historical magnet there, because all kinds of people go there and just can get chance to be closer to history, closer to those days. And what I appreciate a lot, it's unpolitical at all.
This is true.
And variety of material there, and there are really smart ideas there with dioramas, with U-boats, with civil life.
The pirate scene, the pirate battle. Have you seen that?
Yes.
Fantastic. Yes.
And actually there was a lot of medals and badges, all different countries. Also like Russian Empire and...
all over the world. Also the Navy uniforms from all over the world.
Yeah.
So it's a really nice variety. And by the way, this is not the entire collection. This is only half of it. When you're standing outside of the building to the right is the magazine. So everything which is not on display is in the magazine. And if you're really interested, you can ask for entrance and ask them what you would like to see, and then you have the same amount one more time. It is the biggest collection in the world, beside, government institutions, of course, but built up by an individual, this is definitely the biggest.
And that's very impressive. And actually for me it's very important to show museums, because every private collection is like museum in potential, right? Because most famous museums in the world, it actually was collections.
Every museum in the world started with a private collection in the beginning.
Yeah, that's true. And here in your office, I'm really excited here, like every time, with all sorts of stuff, and I can see it, I can show it to our subscribers. People appreciate it a lot. And can you show us like behind of scenes? How do you get these collections? And for example, here, there are like several boxes of imperial items, for example, like steins.
Yeah.
And you just got it. There is no tags and prices.
Yeah, this is...
Can you describe the process?
Of course, I can't do it my own. So we are in total a little bit over 20 people, everybody with a different task. And we are
full-time.
Full-time, yes, of course. And we have our expert describers for the different subjects, for medals and orders, for daggers, for bayonets, for uniforms, for insignia, documents, several items I also described myself. This one here, these regimental steins, that's what we're talking about. They're all individual, and each regiment had its own design. And at the end of the service time, the soldiers were able to purchase one, and they were all individually named. So this one here was to somebody whose name was Arban Hermann. How does it go from the box to the homepage? When we buy the items, they come in, we clean them if it's necessary, and then they will be described. In the back, we see two of my staff, Mr. Müller and Mr. Orban. And Mr. Müller, for instance, is responsible for the steins. He's describing them, and then he's giving them upstairs to the photography. And after it has been photographed, it will be on the homepage. And as you know, we do the update every Friday evening, which is a very busy day for us. You can believe us, especially the last half an hour is extremely busy. Also having the first customers giving us a call, what is new, what is coming in? And so, that's the way how it goes. And sometimes, when we buy too many items, it can take weeks until we have them finally on the internet. And some, of course, will never make it because we have customers coming in every day. And many of them who have the opportunity stop by and say, what is new? Can I buy it already? Of course they can. And so many items will never make it on the internet because they have been sold before.
And for example, me, I can come here and I appreciate for this opportunity to get some first peeks, actually. And after it has been described and took pictures and everything, you just store it properly in
the
shelves.
Showcases, yes. Here on this floor, most of the items are on display, with exceptions, for instance, the shoulder boards, it's impossible. So we have them in the drawers, and then they are waiting to be sold.
And I know the answer, but for our subscribers, how many pieces, how many items in percent you can take with you to the show, for example, like Kassel size show or Hütten show?
In percentage, not much. At the shows, we only have a little variety. When we're talking about the big shows in Germany or in Europe, like the biggest show in Europe is Cine, as you know. We have maybe 10% is already too much. And at a show like the SOS show or the Max show, we're so limited. We're talking about not even 1% of our merchandise. It's simply impossible. So we're just taking a variety to show what we have, and where I have the idea that somebody might be interested.
While we start talking about offline shows, like a Cine and Max show and WW1 show from United States, guys from Netherlands, from Hütten, they asked me promote their show in Netherlands. I really want to do that. Yes, and this show gonna be on December 10th. Yes, and I think this show can get really nice perspective.
Yes, we are supporting the show. I can really recommend it to all the collectors who are in the area. Houten is in the Netherlands from the German border, maybe an hour away. So for us here from Hamburg, it is a 5 hours drive, but it's really worth it. The Netherlands, the law is different. So there are no hidden swastikas. You can have everything on display, like in the States, a very liberal law, and the people are very friendly. It's a relaxed scene. The show is still not as busy as the German shows, but this will change with the development, and we're expecting it to grow bigger and bigger. It's a very nice and relaxed show. In the moment, still a one-day show. Just made the invention that we can set up Saturday evening already, and we hope that in 24 or 25, the show will even expand to 2 days shows. In the Netherlands, most of the shows are just one-day shows because the country is not so big. But if it develops the way we hope, then it will have a bright future and it will be a new highlight for the show scene in Europe.
That's true, and this show is that nice, and for me, like last show, and people ask me promote it also, and I want to come from San Francisco just for this show for a couple of days. This is that nice.
Yeah, it's really worth it.
Yes, I already booked tickets, so I'm excited to go there. Main reason for me, like many people from all Europe gonna get there and show their material, and for me it's very important to touch items. I cannot buy items like in a distance, I personally have to touch it, like see it on my hands or like take pictures.
I agree. Yes.
So that is why it's very important for me like all these offline shows, and I really ready to promote it and support it.
We're buying many items through the internet or when we get the offers via email. But it's always something else when you touch it. When I have the chance, I also prefer to buy them, having it in my hand, do a hand inspection. And this is also what I tell to my people and to my photographers: make the pictures as good as possible. Also show the problems or the issues an items might have, like rust or a repair. Because what I don't want is that a customer is disappointed. I rather get the telephone call or the message, oh, it is much nicer than you showed, than it was on the pictures, than other way around. Nice. And therefore also I also prefer the real life, also to meet the collectors, to get the get together, the social effect. And we're talking about real people and real historical artifacts. I would be sad if everything would move on the virtual platform. It's helpful, but it's not everything.
Like a couple of years ago, I moved to the United States with my talent visa, and I started to apply like 2 years ago for it. And finally I got it, and I got it also because of promoting all this stuff. I'm promoting collectibles items, like our community and our offline shows, because one of criteria, for example, was like significant role
yes. And you do.
In promotion, yeah. So I proud myself and appreciate your feedback. I think it's really very important. And I'm trying to show people behind the scene, show people behind the websites, to add more life in our like internet community also.
And Alex is always welcome. We are always happy to have him here in Hamburg, and we're really looking forward to see him here the next time again. No? So
thank you.
Thank you for your visit.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your interview.
My pleasure.
Thank you guys for watching this video until the end, and see you real soon.